All right, moving on to lesson 18, we're going to talk about like terms and how to add or subtract them together. All right, so I'm going to show you this equation here, and let's solve for it using this right here. So we're going to put 1 in where our x is, and then we're going to solve for our equation. Okay, so 4 times 1 is 4, 2 times 1 is 2, this is 1, so 4 plus 2 is 6, 6 minus 1 is 5. Okay, so that's pretty easy, we know how to do that. Okay, so what if I said I want to do this a different way? First, I'm going to add all of my like terms. So like terms are when your variables are the same. Okay, your coefficients might be different, but your variables are the same. So for example, this is all x, this is x, and this is x. So we're going to add our x's together. We've got 4 x's here, 2 x's here, and then a subtraction of 1 here. So 4 plus 2 is 6, 6 minus 1 is 5x. Okay, so now we can say, all right, well, let me put this x equals 1 in here for the x. So 5 times 1 equals 5. So this number here, 5, is the same answer I got here, but I did the problem a different way. First, I put the variable amount in for the variables, and then I solved. Here, I added my like terms first, and then I put my variable amount in. But either way, it's going to get the same answer. And I want you to understand that when I start adding and subtracting like terms later on. Okay, so let me walk you through example 18.1 on page 80. The first thing I'm going to do is I'm going to identify like terms, terms that are the same. So let's start with our x. Okay, so here we have an x times a coefficient. Okay, here we have an x times a coefficient. This and this are like terms. Okay, now we have just a coefficient guy here, just this numerical coefficient or this number right there by itself. If you would have had a +1 over here or -6 or something like that, then I would have marked that over here as another coefficient, or I'm sorry, another like term to this 5, but there isn't anything else. Everything else has variables with it. So this is the only term that's like this. Okay, now I have an xy and I have a yx. Okay, in the last video, I explained to you that it doesn't matter which order you put your variables in as long as they're the same. So x times y, 3 times 5, is going to be the same thing as 5 times 3. It doesn't matter that this is the y is first here and the x is first here. These mean the same thing. So these are actually like terms. I have a -1 of them here and I have a +2 of them here. Just like I have 3 x's here and I have -5 x's here. Okay, so I'm going to add my like terms together. I'm going to add 3 plus a -5. Well, the signs are different, so we subtract, and 5 is the bigger number, so we keep the negative sign, so that's -2x. That's how many x's we have when we combine them. Then we have a +5 because there's no other thing to add to that 5. There's no other like term. Now we have a -1 of these xy's and we have a +2 of these xy's or yx's, however you want to say it. So we add -1 plus 2. Signs are different. You subtract. 2 minus 1 is 1. And it's positive because the 2 is bigger and it's positive. And I'm just going to write xy. You can write yx, doesn't matter which one. Okay, so we've added these like terms together, we've added these like terms together, we've added that together. We don't have anything left. This clunky monkey here is our answer. -2x plus 5 plus 1 xy. Now, if I wanted to, I could just erase that and it means the same thing. I was just showing you what that kind of added to the 2 minus 1 right up there. But you don't have to put a 1 in front of your stuff because it automatically is assumed that if there's not a 1 there, that's how many you have. Okay, you have 1 xy right here. There's your answer. All right, example letter C, page 80, is 3yac minus 2ac plus 6acy. We're going to identify like terms first. We have yac here. We only have AC here. So just because it has AC doesn't mean that these are like terms. This is missing the Y, so this is not a like term. However, this has AC and Y, and this has AC and Y times each other. So this is a like term, and this is a like term, okay? So I'm gonna add those together. That's 9, and I'm just gonna make up an order. AYC minus 2AC is all that's left. Easy peasy, there's my answer. Okay, so last example for lesson 18. This comes from letter D, page 80. We're going to start by identifying like terms. Here's an X, here's an X. Let's see, what else do we have? We have just a 4 all by itself here. And then we have the XYs here. Okay. So we are going to combine them. I'm going to keep this one first because there's nothing else to add to it. It's just a positive 4, okay? Now we have a -1 and a positive 3x. So -1 plus 3. Different signs means you subtract. 3 minus 1 is 2. It's positive because 3 is the bigger number and it has the positive sign. Now we have a -2xy and a -7xy, so -2 plus -7. Both signs are the same. We're going to add 2 and 7 and get 9. And there's a negative sign in front of it, so the negative sign stays. Okay, so 4 plus 2x minus 9xy. That can be your answer.